Richard Thorndike, who was in the Legislative Oversight Committee. Then he issued a press release for the Center for Public Affairs. 3:35 p.m. Back in Austin. Back in Odessa, Ken arrives from school. His younger brother Jake is home early, playing gangster rap, which annoys him. 2 years ago, he'd gotten JR to stop listening to gangster rap. His mother, Sarah, is watching Ricky Lake before switching over to Oprah. Although she was against Bill Clinton, Kim let JR know that she was big into pop culture. Kim opens up his phone and calls Calvin Broderson, seeking him to keep an eye on JR, suspicious that Brad was about to start something. 3:45 p.m. The school day ends at Alamo Prep, and Christine and Jennifer walk out towards the bus stop. Did you see Drew Morgan? He was staring at me through history class, Christine said. One of Christine's friends, Janessa, walks alongside them. I have had deep feelings for him in my loins for quite some time now. Stop it, Jennifer says. You'd screw anything that walks. Yeah, well, he can't touch me. He knows that Daddy is sending me to a Christian school in Washington, D.C. when we move, Christine said. How come you and Jennifer get to move to the fancy places like Washington, D.C., and I'm stuck here, Janessa said. Has nothing to do with being born on the wrong side of the tracks. Has everything to do with Daddy's connections, Christine said. Oh, that's okay. Anyway, he's following me to Milton Prep, where he's going to be a part of the campus newspaper, Janessa said. I dated him last fall, Monica said, rushing over to them. He runs around campus like a chip is on his shoulder. 4:05 p.m. In the hotel suite, Jim is on the phone with Deputy Railroad Commissioner Amy Babcock. Jim wanted her to take his place when he resigned later on this month, not knowing that Governor Richards had already picked another person in mind. He goes to the refrigerator and gets out a clear bottle of Jim Beam. He is frustrated and angry at Governor Ann Richards' approach towards the oil industry. At 7:45 p.m. Jim and Betsy walk into the governor's mansion and head to the reception area, where they are greeted by Governor Ann Richards. Jim, I have always counted on your support, the governor said with a complacent smile. Same generation, different ideas. That's not what you said to me last January when you came to me with your hand out. Living on to bigger and better things. Sweet. the governor said in a sarcastic smile. Now may I ask, what do you want from me? This is my letter of resignation, effective February 19th. I go tired with wrestling with you and Lieutenant Governor Bob Bullock about my company. That's all right. We didn't need to promote one of our own. Anyway, we've been meaning to do that anyway. Estes Land has been in the government ever since. He worked with Governor Mark White on education. Estes is a good man, and he'll do right. As for Mark White, my father-in-law brought him down. And I'm not afraid to bring you down, neither, Governor. Just be sure to carry some heavy gravity shoes. Because if you want a war, you may get it. 7:55 p.m. Meanwhile, in the double-wide trailer, Kyle and Madison are watching Hearts on Fire. Tomorrow, Kyle would go with Festus to drop off a bull for rodeo in Ballinger. Madison planned to take the baby to the doctor tomorrow. 8:05 a.m. Betsy goes and waits outside the stretch limo as Jim has a talk with the governor. If you're smart and want that political appointment with the Clinton administration, you better cease and desist from having a war with me. Because President Clinton is backing me. I'll make that none of my concern. Look, I brought down Clayton Williams last election because his damn comments about rape. Don't you worry. My people in Texas will find something. And the right candidate to beat you. You have been fair warned. You stay out of all this while you can. 8:15 p.m. In the stretch limo ride back to the Embassy Suites hotel, Betsy grilled her husband. What the hell is that all about? Betsy asked. Political warfare. Your daddy never warned Mark White he was going to put him down. But he did anyway. I wanted to give her a warning. Betsy sighs. Well, you better decide on a good candidate for governor soon. Already have. I called him Sunday in Crawford and asked him to consider running for governor. We need a Bush back in office. 9:45 p.m. Back at the dorm, JR is greeted by a box from Kim. 6 gigantic bottles of Texan orange juice. Meanwhile, across the hall, one of the guys is playing a country music song. He says he'll keep her. Kevin McDonald shut the door. I've been hearing this jock play that stuff for a while. it's hard to study. February 2nd passed quietly. Morning of February 3rd, 3:15 a.m. I think I better go ahead and go into, yeah, February 2nd, okay. 4 a.m. Jared wakes up and puts on his headphones. Listen to the radio. The Blake Carter Minute is on. This morning, we see a sad state of affairs when Willie Mae Ford Smith, one of the great gospel singers of all time, that I remember playing on my parents' radio when I was little, died in the middle of the night. His singing was a comfort to me when I was sick. As a 7-year-old boy in my grandma's arms in Richmond, Virginia. He will be sorely missed. Meanwhile, Republicans are following the lead of Newt Gingrich, discussing the potential of a contract with America. Meanwhile, back at the ranch, Betsy is watching TV, where she also hears of the death of Willie Mae Ford Smith. Tears filled her eyes because she remembers listening to his music during times of healing with her marriage to Jeremy Swain. He would often listen to gospel music when he was trying to quit drinking. 4:30 a.m. Kyle and Festus load up the bull and get back into the truck to drive off to Ballinger, Texas. 4:45 a.m. Ken wakes up and turns on the light by his bed. He turns on his laptop and into the Railroad Commission BBS. There was the agenda to today's meeting, as well as the calendar itinerary for the noon lunch with the governor. Tomorrow's noon lunch with the governor. Jim thought he would play nice with her one more time before his resignation. 5 a.m. At the Sibley, JR is at swimming practice with Brent Clark and Bill Holden. Here's the two guys who got dumped by Karen Kreider and went next. Bill said, "Yeah, well, Karen called me last night." "Don't tell me you're going back to that." JR cut him off. "Let's just say she's leaving the Methodist Church. We are friends, though not everything is wrapped up in your daddy's big world." "Oh yeah? Well, I'm going to be an attorney, a speechwriter, and after I graduate from here next year, Daddy's going to send me off to Southern Methodist University School of Law." FYI, Brent said, JR has a study date tonight for Jennifer Bauer. And second, even though they're not together on Sundays, JR doesn't see Karen but once a week on Thursdays. "I'm just glad she transferred on," Bill said. 5:45 a.m. Claude goes into Jim's hotel suite living room to talk. "I hear that Houston's finest rodeo man is going to be riding, and it's going to be riding your bull in Ballinger," Claude said. "Oh, hell, I I didn't hate it.